Watch for your cue to call tonight at 10.
Tonight's headlines. Growing anger in Asia over SARS crisis. Virus may stay with victim even after recovery. No post-war bounce for the U.S. economy. It sheds thousands more jobs. Also tonight, rescue and emergency workers riding on potentially dangerous tires. A consumer alert investigation of new Firestone safety questions. Back from the war, many sailors see their infant children for the first time. And CBS takes you aboard the world's biggest warship to show you the female powerhouse who keeps it running.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather.
And good evening. Dan is on assignment tonight. I'm John Roberts. New discoveries about the SARS virus are dashing hopes for finding a quick cure. With at least 418 deaths now reported worldwide, the worst SARS outbreaks are still in Asia, China especially. While the Chinese government insisted today the spread of SARS is tapering off, it imposed new travel bans and called for a, quote, people's war to stop the virus. But CBS's Barry Peterson, live in Beijing, reports tonight some of the people are at war with the government. Barry?
Well, John, China's leaders now face two major threats. The first is SARS. The second is a serious, some say dangerous, challenge to their authority. There was fresh and mounting defiance of China's communist government today. Villagers blocking roads to keep out Beijing residents who might have SARS. This despite a rare emergency decree saying the city must not be blockaded. We don't trust the government to protect us, say peasants. We're taking measures into our own hands. Beijing authorities tried reassuring the city today, saying the epidemic is peaking, but people aren't buying it. A 24-hour hotline is getting 10,000 frantic calls a day. People are not buying much else either. The May Day holiday weekend usually generates $4 billion in sales. Instead, shops are closed, restaurant tables empty. Just look at the Great Wall, China's premier tourist attraction. Only a few dozen showed up today where thousands normally tread. A row of shops, all shut. Layoffs have started. Unemployment is at a 2-decade high and climbing fast. But every crisis has its winners. There's a drumbeat of TV commercials for things healthy, vitamins or green tea, products selling out all over town. And when's the last time you saw a TV host drop down and do push-ups? Stay in shape is the message, and you'll stay healthy. But then, officials shut most of the city's gyms, more concerned with spreading SARS than people keeping fit. For freelance journalist Winter Wright, it's one shutdown too many.
It's just frustrating to sort of successively have the cinemas and the restaurants and the health clubs and everything just grind to a halt around you.
Official propaganda can be confusing. This billboard says join hands in the fight against SARS, except people touching, like a handshake, is one of the ways the disease spreads. This is the latest weapon against SARS, a thermometer. Fly into the city, drive into the city, register at a hotel, they will check you out. And the other night at dinner, I had to put a thermometer under here and prove my temperature was normal at a restaurant before they would even allow me in to eat. John? Barry Peterson reporting from the SARS hot zone in Beijing tonight. Barry, thanks. What we're learning about SARS is raising new concerns that this virus could be hard to beat. CBS News medical correspondent Elizabeth Caledon is here now with that part of the story. Elizabeth?
Well, John, one thing scientists tracking the SARS virus would all agree on is that what we've learned about it, we've learned incredibly quickly. But what we need to know, we can't find out soon enough. It's known as the coronavirus because it looks like it's wearing a crown. But these days, that's about all scientists can say with certainty. The germ was once believed only to cause colds and was most often found in animals like cats and chickens. But when SARS showed up and people started dying, all that changed.
This is a new virus to humans, that it's not very well adapted to humans.
That means it's been throwing us one curveball after another.
Well, there are a number of questions that we cannot definitively answer.
First of all, its spread has been unusual, highly contagious person to person, yet oddly contained by regions.
It spread to Beijing, but not to Shanghai. It spread to Toronto, but not Vancouver.
Scientists still aren't sure how long the coronavirus can survive outside the body. And now there's new evidence it can exist inside patients up to a month after they've recovered.
You can at least find evidence of the virus in stools and urine for up to 3 weeks after infection.
Does that mean it remains contagious for a month? No one knows. Complicating matters, live samples of the new coronavirus being studied indicate more than one variety might exist.
It's like a snapshot. You see a virus at a moment in time, but this virus is probably always mutating to some degree. And the fact that we're seeing a number of variants is not surprising at all.
It may not be surprising, but it does underscore the point that getting a handle on this new emerging epidemic is no small feat and could take years. John?
Elizabeth, thanks. In the wake of the SARS crisis, the Chinese government is promising more candor. Today, it made a rare admission of a submarine accident that killed all 70 crewmen. It was a Navy Ming-class sub, an obsolete diesel-powered design. The Chinese won't say exactly what went wrong, but Western experts suspect the crew was poisoned by fumes from batteries or torpedo fuel. In this country, the employment picture is worsening. A burst of post-war optimism sent thousands of people back into the job market last month, but many couldn't find work as the economy lost 48,000 more jobs. And the unemployment rate rose to its highest level in nearly 9 years, 6%. Anthony Mason reports the job creation engine is running on fumes.
At Computed Tool and Engineering in Anaheim, California, where they stamp out metal parts for cars, electronics, and household products.
This all area used to be filled. Now we only have one employee.
Manager Patricia Torres says the slowdown started several years ago.
So we've got 4 free stations at this point. And in 99, they were all full.
In 1990, the company had 14 workers.
Today, we're down to 7.
And Torres says her order flow is so slow, she can only plan 2 weeks in advance. That means
I can't hire anyone. I can't spend money. I don't, upgrade computers or change office furniture.
And when businesses don't spend, the economy comes to a screeching halt. And that paralysis has cost the economy more than 500,000 jobs over the past 3 months.
I have his resume.
At Careers on the Move, a job search firm in New York City, owners Kathy Sheehan and Rochelle Conian track the employment market.
It's outrageous.
How many applicants are there for the average job now?
I would say probably a couple thousand.
A couple of thousand?
Yeah, a couple thousand.
In their files alone, the number of applicants for sales positions has reached...
Wow. 6,984.
And for Java computer programmers?
3,092.
So you have 3,000 Java programmers.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
And 2 or 3 jobs?
Yes.
At Computed Tool, Patricia Torres isn't hiring. She was expecting a bounce back at the end of the Gulf War.
I was expecting something.
But so far, she hasn't seen it.
Everyone's just holding on to their money and not making decisions and just holding back.
And waiting for some kind of spark to ignite this economy. Anthony Mason, CBS News, New York.
President Bush believes that spark is a tax cut, a big tax cut. And fresh off his Iraq mission accomplished speech last night, he was out today pushing his plan for fixing the economy and, he hopes, keeping his job. White House correspondent Bill Plant has that story.
The president chose a defense plant in hard-hit Silicon Valley to signal that with major combat in Iraq over, he's fighting a new battle to pump up the nation's weak economy and get himself re-elected. Mr. Bush linked economic recovery to his tax cuts, urging Congress to
pass a tax relief plan that will matter. A tax relief plan robust enough so that the people of this country who are looking for work can find a job.
The president's made-for-TV arrival on the USS Abraham Lincoln signals the opening of his 2004 campaign and his expected focus on national security. And with polls showing the struggling economy is by far the biggest concern of most Americans, Mr. Bush is also determined not to repeat his father's mistake of appearing unconcerned.
The old adage is that presidents get reelected when they can promise that they've brought home peace and prosperity. So the aircraft carrier speech was part one, and now part two is to come.
But many in Congress, including influential Republicans, worry that the president's big tax cuts will only make matters worse by driving up the deficit. So Mr. Bush will campaign for his tax cuts all month, spending some of his post-war political capital to pressure the lawmakers. Political consultants say the president is on the right track by seeking to project leadership as an offset to the poor economy. As one of them put it, even if there are other problems, if a candidate wins on leadership, he will prevail. John?
Bill Plant live at the White House tonight. Bill, thanks. The U.S. military said today it has arrested 3 more of its most wanted Iraqis. With the 3, 18 of the 55 in the deck of wanted Iraqis are now in custody. In London tonight, a U.S. official said the U.S. and Britain are preparing a resolution to give the United Nations a role in humanitarian relief in Iraq. The U.S. also said it plans to divide Iraq into 3 sectors under American, British, and Polish command. 6 other countries will contribute peacekeeping troops: Italy, Spain, Ukraine, Denmark, Holland, and Bulgaria. Returning from the Iraq War, the aircraft carrier USS Abraham Lincoln dropped anchor today in San Diego, its next to last port of call before its home port of Everett, Washington. But for about 5,000 sailors from the Lincoln and its battle group, San Diego is home. And they got a happy welcome home after an extended 10-month deployment that climaxed with combat duty in the Persian Gulf. About 150 of the carrier's crewmen are new fathers, seeing their babies for the first time.
What a big girl!
And 44 sailors are now U.S. citizens. Sworn in yesterday at a ceremony ashore. A presidential order gave them priority because of their wartime service.
It's great to be home. Great to be back on land.
But for most of those disembarking from the Lincoln, nothing extra was needed to make this a great day. Nothing more than a warm embrace, an overdue kiss, a welcoming tear or two, and the joy that comes when a long-absent father or son, wife or daughter returns from war to stand safely again on home ground. Later in the broadcast, Cynthia Bowers with the story of one remarkable member of the Lincoln's crew. Coming up next, our Friday Consumer Alert. CBS investigates new safety questions about Firestone tires and allegations of a cover-up.
For 2 out of 3 adults with high cholesterol, diet and exercise may not lower it enough. But adding Lipitor can lower your total cholesterol 29 to 45%. Lipitor is not for everyone, including people with liver disease or possible liver problems, and women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant. Simple blood tests are needed to check for liver problems. Tell your doctor about other medications you are taking, or if you experience muscle pain or weakness, as they may be a sign of serious side effects. So take the next step. Ask your doctor if Lipitor is right for you.
Tough heartburn? Try Extra Strength Mylanta. Nothing's faster or more soothing than Extra Strength Mylanta, the liquidator.
It's a beautiful morning.
Ask your doctor today about Vioxx, a prescription medicine from Merck, and find out what Vioxx can do for you. Vioxx.
Recently, all the winners of the Car and Driver Best Pickup Award got together for a little reunion. It's good to see everyone again. Silverado, the 3-time winner, the only winner of Car and Driver's Best Pickup Award. Silverado, the truck from Chevy. The most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.
You know, ever since we discovered Beneful Healthy Weight Formula, I'm the only one with love handles. Ever seen anything like it? Me neither. It's got wholesome grains, real chicken, and natural soy, even vegetables. So there's protein with soy to help you keep those muscles while you lose a few pounds. Who would have guessed Calorie Smart could taste so good? Yeah, you may think you're getting spoiled, but check out this physique. Rawr.
Healthful, flavorful, Beneful. New Beneful Healthy Weight Formula by Purina.
CBS News and correspondent Cheryl Atkinson have long been investigating safety problems with Firestone tires. Those problems did not end with the massive recall of Firestones that came standard on many Ford SUVs. In our Friday Consumer Alert, Cheryl looks into ongoing safety questions about other Firestone tires.
Millions of Firestone Steeltex tires are on the road, on rescue vehicles, light trucks, and RVs. Federal officials are now deciding whether to reopen an investigation into their safety. Last year, they closed one probe of the tires, finding no evidence of defects. But complaints of abnormal blowouts continue to roll into the government. Blowouts, some say, are similar to the infamous tread separations involved in 14 million ATX and Wilderness tires recalled in 2000. All the failures can be traced to drastic cost cutting, according to Bill Orr, who is a senior lab technician at Firestone's plant in Laverne, Tennessee. Orr previously told CBS News Firestone was so worried about its rescue vehicle tires, the company asked him to examine some that had come apart. Yet at the time, Firestone told us it knew of no problems.
That's not correct, Cheryl. I personally picked up 4 of those tires, returned, I was told, from an emergency vehicle in South Carolina. If they weren't concerned with them, they would have sent them to downtown Nashville to a storage unit down there where a lot of liability products are held.
Those tires may have come from an ambulance in South Carolina that had 2 blowouts in a row, once while a premature baby was aboard.
We looked at them. Built-edge separation on both sides. It was forming in the one that hadn't failed, but it had already formed and failed in the 3 others.
After Orr complained to his bosses that shoddy work and materials were producing dangerous tires, he was fired. Now he's scheduled to tell what he knows to federal safety investigators next week in Washington. As of now, rescue squads in at least 13 states have reported problems, most of them dumping their Steeltex tires for other brands. Firestone stands by its tires, saying federal officials have reviewed them and clearly stated they found no evidence of defect. There is no basis for action with the Steeltex tires. Firestone also faces a massive class action lawsuit brought by RV and light truck customers who claim there is something wrong with the tires. Bill Orr may testify in that case. Cheryl Atkinson, CBS News, Washington.
For a while, it appeared there might be a happy ending for the family of Tristan Buddy Myers. Buddy was just 4 when he disappeared 2.5 years ago from his home in North Carolina. But DNA test results today confirm that this 6-year-old in foster care in Illinois named Eli Quick is not Buddy Myers after all. Still ahead on tonight's CBS Evening News, do you know this man? The other Democrats running for president sure do. We'll have his story next.
Millions of us are hospitalized with heart-related chest pain or a certain type of heart attack, what doctors call ACS. The cause? For most, it was blood platelets that formed clots, which blocked blood from getting to the heart. Think aspirin and your other heart medications alone are enough? One more thing could help make a difference. Ask your doctor about adding Plavix. Added to aspirin in your current treatment, Plavix goes beyond what you're taking to help raise protection against heart attack or stroke. Plavix and your other medications work in different ways. Plavix, taken with aspirin, plays its own role in keeping blood platelets from sticking together and forming clots, which helps keep blood flowing.
If you have a medical condition that causes bleeding, such as stomach ulcer, you shouldn't use Plavix. The risk of bleeding may increase with Plavix, and when you take Plavix with certain other medicines, including aspirin, review your medicines with your doctor to minimize this risk. Additional rare but serious side effects could occur.
Add Plavix for more protection against heart attack or stroke.
Here it comes, big-time neck pain. You're gonna feel sorry for yourself? Or grab a Thermacare heat wrap. 8 hours of penetrating heat that gives you powerful pain relief and deep muscle relaxation. Go on, wrap yourself in relief. Thermacare heat wraps.
Want to see one of the most amazing things to show up in this garden lately? Here it is, Miracle Grow Shake and Feed Slow Release Plant Food. A few minutes of shake time, 3 months of show time. Miracle Grow Shake and Feed. Shake a little, grow a lot.
Post-shredded wheat is rich in whole grains and can help reduce your risk of heart disease. So it sounds as good to your ears as it does to your taste buds.
Hey, have you called your doctor yet about the purple pill called Nexium? Well, perhaps you should wait till you get home. Find out if Nexium is right for you and visit us at purplepill.com.
And now by the authority vested
So young, naive. I bet they don't have a clue.
Or that insurance.
What insurance? The one that pays you cash if you're sick and can't work. What one's that? The name is...
Aflac. Ask about it at work.
Ladies and gentlemen and children of all ages, do we have a story for you?
All very cloak and dagger and quite mysterious.
60 Minutes, Sunday.
The United States Supreme Court could decide the fate of the new campaign finance reform law in time for the presidential campaign of '04. The way was cleared for an appeal to the High Court today when a lower court threw out key sections of the law, including the ban on political parties using big corporate or union donations and restrictions on political ads by special interest groups. Whether or not you have noticed, Presidential Campaign 2004 is already underway. And Democratic hopefuls are holding their first debate tomorrow night in South Carolina. Among them is former Vermont Governor Howard Dean. He's getting a lot of attention. CBS's Jim Acosta reports why.
Justice for Dean! Justice for Dean! A doctor turned politician, Howard Dean says he's the tough-talking cure to an ailing party out of power.
We're not going to beat George Bush by being Bush-like. I'm Howard Dean, and I'm here to represent the Democratic wing of the Democratic Party.
With an in-your-face opposition to the war, this once obscure governor of Vermont tapped into the rage of angry Democrats.
What I want to know is what in the world so many Democrats are doing supporting the president's unilateral intervention in Iraq.
Leaving candidates who backed the president to face the wrath of party hardliners. As a result, Dean's a front-runner in next year's New Hampshire primary.
He's the guy who's built to upset the apple cart in New Hampshire.
Political observer Joe Klein sees a maverick in the making.
I think one of the great advantages that he has is that he speaks English. And he's running against a bunch of senators, and senators use English by and large as a second language.
In recent primaries, New Hampshire has welcomed maverick candidates with open arms. It's a role Dean hopes will keep him ahead of a crowded field of contenders. What's wrong with the Democratic Party today?
They're trying to be too much like Republicans.
How are you doing?
Dean denies he's an old-fashioned liberal. While he wants to expand health care coverage, he opposes strict gun control laws. And Dean would send troops into battle, he says, for the right war. But New Hampshire reporter John DeStazo says the war has pigeonholed Dean.
He's coming across as a true left-wing believer.
Do you know what happened the last time a liberal governor from New England ran against a guy named George Bush?
Mm-hmm. I also know what happened the last time a governor from a rural state ran against George Bush.
Howard Dean likes to say his party needs a backbone transplant. Democrats have less than a year to decide if the doctor's in or out. Jim Acosta, CBS News, Manchester, New Hampshire.
And next up on tonight's CBS Evening News, efficiency, energy, enthusiasm. She's got it all. On the USS Abraham Lincoln, they call her Grandma Navy.
Call me if you need help.
From now on, long-distance, local, and high-speed internet will be together. Voice and data networks for companies large and small will be together. The innovations of one of the world's largest internet providers and the simplicity of one global network will be together. Together, under one name. MCI.
You know, heartburn is bad enough. But then, just when you think it's gone, you get it again. That's why I use Pepcid. Just one does it. I take one Pepcid AC to prevent heartburn. It actually stops it before it even starts. Or, after heartburn hits, I take one Pepcid Complete. It starts controlling acid in seconds and lasts all day or all night. Heartburn stop me? No way. Pepcid. Just one and heartburn's done.
You try to do right by him. You make time.
You build up his confidence. You inspire him to be healthy. You encourage him to think for himself.
Hey, what's going on?
And what does it get you?
Hey, anybody want a cigarette?
2 little words you won't be there to hear.
No thanks. So you guys want this?
Talk to your kids about not smoking. They'll listen.
A Duramax bulb lasts longer. 1 year life. Duramax. Light bulbs that last. From Philips. Enter to win the experience of a lifetime from Philips Lighting and the Home Depot.
There's nothing like a great night's sleep. I can get an early start in the morning and go out and do something just for me.
Tylenol PM stops your nighttime pain and helps you sleep so you can wake up refreshed.
It's a really good feeling.
Every day for thousands of years, Old Faithful has been, well, faithful.
What causes it to stay so regular?
Stay regular with Metamucil Daily Fiber Therapy. It works with you, naturally. Get regular, stay regular.
She's been missing since Tuesday. Coming up, we'll tell you why police have subpoenaed the phone records of Tabitha Truder's family tonight at 6.
Earlier in the broadcast, we showed you the aircraft carrier Abraham Lincoln and the homecoming its crew received today in San Diego. We close tonight with a close-up of one exceptional, some might say nearly indispensable, member of the crew. Cynthia Bowers has her story.
On board the world's largest warship, among the 5,500 sailors, there are pilots, air crews, officers, and enlisted.
I need it ASAP.
And there's Evelyn Banks.
It's right outside the ready room.
One remarkable bundle of energy whose calling is to keep it all running.
Chin up and help out a shipmate.
Roger that, Master Chief.
All right.
That's Command Master Chief, the Navy's highest enlisted rank. Banks is the first African-American woman to be in charge of all the enlisted sailors of a carrier air wing.
Come on, Chief, expeditiously.
But it wasn't an easy voyage. Growing up during tough times in a tough part of town, Vaughn, as she's called, knew she had to make her own way, and that she wanted more than Memphis, Tennessee at the time had to offer.
I joined the Navy for something greater than one's own self. I felt like God had blessed me with a talent to do something more than Memphis had to offer. And I look at the Navy as a series of opportunities. That's all it is. It's not a job. It's not an adventure. It's an opportunity to enjoy opportunities. Thanks so much.
And for 19 years, she's made the most of those opportunities. The title makes her proud, but it is the people that make her happy.
That's what that smile is about. We're going home. Personally, it's been an awesome growth process. I learn every day from somebody. Every sailor that I come in contact with, I just want to see what they have to give me so I can grow.
When the Lincoln arrived in San Diego this morning after the longest cruise of her life, Evelyn Banks was among the last to leave the ship. She wanted to say goodbye to everyone else first, which is exactly the kind of support sailors have come to expect from the woman they call Grandma Navy. Cynthia Bowers, CBS News, San Diego.
And that's the evening news for this Friday. For Dan Rather, I'm John Roberts in New York. Thanks for choosing CBS News. Have a great weekend.
For news 24 hours a day, log on to cbsnews.com. This is CBS.
From your news and information leader. This is News Channel 5 at 6.
Good evening. It's another stormy night in parts of Middle Tennessee.
Let's go right to Ron now in the Storm 5 Weather Center. Ron?
All right. Well, the storms are not as widespread today as they were yesterday, but still some areas getting hammered with large hail. Some reports of golf ball size hail. And right now, Storm Target 5 showing those storms continuing to move across about the same area they have all afternoon long through the southern counties of Middle Tennessee, and specifically now Giles, Marshall, Bedford, and Lincoln counties. You see your counties lighted up there.
there, you are all under severe thunderstorm warnings. The tornado warning that was in effect for eastern Giles and Lincoln County was allowed to expire. It was in connection with this cell, which has moved southeastward and weakened considerably. The two largest storms now are the one near Shelbyville and also this one over northern Giles County. This is the largest hail producer right now. And as you see, pretty good indications there north of Pulaski of quite a lot of hail, maybe as big as golf ball size hail. This storm continues to move southeast. Here are some of the communities in the path. Looks like it'll be getting into the Pulaski area probably in the next 5 or 10 minutes as far as the part of the storm that's producing the hail.
Or too slow, and who knows what may happen next. Our roads are filled with people who eat, make a call, even read while driving 70 miles an hour next to you. And as you swerve, merge, brake, and accelerate to try to get around in one piece, safety is out the window. Too many people are dying, thinking they have their vehicle under control. What's being done about distracted drivers? News Channel 5 goes behind the wheel. Monday on News Channel 5 at 10. Your news and information leader. Win a News Channel 5 umbrella. Watch News Channel 5 at 10 tonight for your cue to call. It's another way the Storm Target 5 weather team has got you covered. You're watching News Channel 5.